Hi everyone, this is Paul the Comic Book Misfit coming at you with another episode of Comic Book Reviews. This week we got 4 great titles, 2 from DC, 2 from Marvel, so let's go ahead and get started. So first, we're talking about Invincible Iron Man number 1. This title is interesting. Iron Man is not Tony Stark, it's not Doctor Doom, who I did in a previous review for another title called Infamous Iron Man. This particular one, it's a 15-year-old MIT student, Riri Williams. This is going to be an interesting take. I love what Marvel was doing here. Marvel was taking a whole different approach to introducing new characters in familiar titles, familiar settings. We started with Miles Morales as Ultimate Spider-Man. We have Sam Wilson, as the Falcon. We have Jane Foster as Thor. Marvel's really hitting it out of the park with diversity. African American characters taking prominent roles and staying in those roles, not just for a couple of issues, but for long periods of time and getting their own titles. You get female characters stepping up and becoming badasses, not just eye candy anymore. I like this. This issue follows that same trend. A 15-year-old African American MIT student has created her own suit of armor and is kicking ass in it. Granted, she is awkward. She doesn't understand exactly what she's doing, but she knows that she has the intellect and the drive to become Iron Man. So this particular issue actually has a lot of flashback scenes, fleshes out her origin story, and just like every great Marvel character, she has a tragic origin story. Just like Peter Parker, just like Frank Castle, she loses someone near and dear to her, and that is the catalyst to her becoming a hero. What's kind of cool is at the end of this issue, we get a surprise in that Tony Stark is now her mentor. Even though he's not there in a physical form, he's going to be her suit's AI, just like Jarvis was to him. I can't wait to see where this goes. I really enjoyed this. Granted, the battle scenes were a little stale because she's fighting a low-level villain. She's a kid. She doesn't know exactly what to do. She's not trained. And that to me is the charm in this issue. I see a lot of vulnerability for this character. I see a lot of room to grow. And I really want to see where this goes. So this one's definitely going to be on a pull list. So Invincible Iron Man number 1. Next issue, Unworthy Thor number 1. So this one was actually from last week, but it's been a great month so far for number 1s, especially if you're not familiar with current storylines, if you're still intimidated on getting into a particular title or character. This one actually fills in the gaps and has a lot of backstory, a lot of exposition, because Thor no longer has his hammer. It does a great job. The writer Jason Aaron does a phenomenal job of letting the reader know what occurred, how Thor lost his hammer, and how he is dealing with it. Thor lost his hammer in a previous storyline called Original Sin. Go check out the trade. It's a lot for me to explain. Jason Aaron, that is why he's being paid by Marvel. He is able to create a concise, quick primer pretty much on what happened to Thor and where he is at now. So the basis of this issue is actually Thor is looking for a hammer. He's looking to redeem himself first so that he can become worthy again. Hence the title Unworthy. He's no longer worthy to wield Mjolnir. He considers himself unworthy to carry the name of Thor. So where is he going to go from here? He's told by a new character who's the new equivalent of the Watcher. The Watcher was the big secret keeper of the Marvel universe. Well, this new person that took over the Watcher spot is called the Unseen. Tells Thor about the location of a new hammer. A hammer that Thor will be able to wield. Kind of mysterious, kind of like, whoa, what's the deal with this new hammer? I'm interested. I love Jason Aaron's previous run on Thor God of Thunder. So this is a new take. Again, Thor, he's not Thor. He has to use a battle axe. He can't fly. He has to use a freaking goat to fly. That's actually a really comical panel. His giant goat's name is Tooth Gnasher. Wow. I don't even know what to say. I'm looking at the cover just thinking I would not have bought this issue if the freaking goat was on the cover. But that being said, aside from the silly goat, this is a great issue. Pick it up. Next issue, we're switching over to DC Comics. We got Detective Comics number 944. Again, Batman. Who doesn't love Batman, right? Previously, I did the Detective Comics 943. It was the beginning of a new storyline called the Victim Syndicate. This picks up right where the last one left off. So we got Batman and the Bat family, his sidekicks and his allies, facing off with this new group of villains. This group of villains is actually pretty badass. They're able to neutralize Batman and give a lot of explanation on what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing, except for the head guy in the victim syndicate. He's left shrouded in mystery. So, take two. So we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. I have a dog, Hank the comic book pup, decided he wanted to be part of the video, had nothing really important to contribute, so he's put away right now. Either way, let's go back. Detective Comics number 944, talking about the Victim Syndicate, talking about how they're dealing with Batman. The main character for the Victim Syndicate, the main villain, he reminds me kind of Scarecrow, but more badass. A cross between Scarecrow and Pinhead from Hellraiser. His look, his aesthetic, just very creepy. Even the word balloons, the dialogue balloons, they're blacked out with this really dripping red, just creepy looking font. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. So far, writer James Tynion has pretty much given an idea of what the Victim Syndicate is. These are all villains who were ordinary people, who were collateral damage in previous Batman battles, either say with like the Joker, someone that got hurt in a battle with the Joker, or someone that was affected with because of a conflict with Scarecrow, except for the main guy. The main guy classifies himself as Batman's first victim. Doesn't say who, doesn't say what the scenario was. So it's got me hooked. I want to read it. I want to see where this is going to go. Again, Batman, you can't go wrong with Batman. I'm just sad that there's no more Tim Drake. I think Tim Drake would have been a great addition to the Bat family in dealing with this, the particular threat. But let's see how the Bat family is going to deal without that additional help. So, Detective Comics number 944, pick it up. Last one for the week, Action Comics. Gotta go with Superman number 967. So last time I talked about Action Comics, I was a little unclear as to what the hell happened with the timelines. There's two Clark Kents, Superman from another world, from a different timeline is in this one. Don't worry about it. Pick this one up. This is number 1 of a new storyline. Let me check the name of the storyline again. I believe it is called... Well, I don't have it. Here we go. Man of Steel, Part 1. Hello, how simple. Man of Steel. Well, as you can tell from the cover, you got 2 Men of Steel. Superman and Lex Luthor. Does a great job of introducing Lex Luthor as a potential hero. Now, throughout the relationship of Lex Luthor and Superman, there have been times where Luthor has tried to take over the mantle of Superman, has tried to present himself as a hero, particularly in the New 52 New 52 run of Forever Evil. He became a member of the Justice League, wants to redeem himself, but it's Lex Luthor. Can you really trust Lex Luthor? So, there's a lot going on with Superman. Aside from the confusing storyline, I kind of like where this is going to go. So we get some villains from Darkseid or Darkseid, however you want to say it. I want to say Darkseid, and Apocalypse, the home world of Darkseid. You've got some of his minions. They're on a hunt for a particular individual. That particular individual is going to take over that mantle of Darkseid. It turns out it's going to be Lex Luthor. They're gonna try to attack him. They want to kill him. His death is going to be the catalyst for this new villain. Will Luthor take over his dark seed? Who knows? It left you hanging. Superman's out in the jungle searching for a research facility with his son. He's nowhere near any of this except for the last couple of panels. Gets his butt kicked by these minions, and he's forced to see Luthor pretty much at the mercy of these guys in the last page. Great, splash page image. Awesome hook line for the next issue. Lex Luthor must die. I hope something good comes from this. To me, on a scale of 1 to 5, this is more of like a 3.5. I like it. I do like this concept, but the confusing storyline between the multiple Clarks, Lois Lane from a previous timeline is trying to fill in for this timeline's Lois Lane. I remember last episode I mentioned, where the hell has Lois Lane been? Still more questions. It doesn't seem like you're going to get answered because it looks like everything's pushing towards this storyline with Lex Luthor. I do have to say that the artist really did a great job of drawing Luthor's armor. I thought he looked amazing. But yeah, I'm going to give this one at least 1 or 2 more issues. If not, I'm going to pull this one from our weekly talks. Definitely pick up Detective Comics. Give Unworthy Thor a shot. But my pick for this week, the number 1 pick for this week, had to be Invincible Iron Man number 1. I loved this comic. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully next week, Hank the Comic Book Pup has something worthy to contribute. Maybe he can make a guest appearance. So until then, this is Paul the Comic Book Misfit. Love you guys. Take care of each other. Godspeed.